The other day, I was looking at some fairly expensive pieces of gear, trying to figure out a way to justify buying them. At one point, I was drooling over a big old Gibson hollow body, and I found myself thinking that, compared to some things, it's actually not that expensive, which led me down a rabbit hole to try and find the world's most expensive pieces of guitar gear. So I figured today I would share with you my findings. Why don't we kick things off with the most expensive guitar that has ever been sold. The title's changed hands a few times in the last little while. For 14 years, it belonged to the Reach Out to Asia Stratocaster. This guitar was a one-off piece made by Fender and signed by Rock's royalty, then auctioned off in 2005 to raise money for victims of the Indian Ocean tsunami. It was bought for $2.7 million by Shika Mayasa Al-Thani, a member of the Guitar Royal family. And according to this article, she is a philanthropist and is the undisputed queen of the art world. It doesn't say anything about her guitar skills, so no word on what she plays on this thing or what the tone is like of a $2.7 million Strat. Now this record was absolutely smacked down in 2019 when David Gilmour's legendary black Strat sold at auction for $3.975 million to the owner of the NFL's Indianapolis Colts. The Pink Floyd frontman bought this guitar in 1969 before performing every mod known to mankind on it. It was used extensively in the studio and in concert before it was semi-retired in 1986 and put on display at a Hard Rock Cafe. It was eventually returned to David Gilmour, who got it restored and then used it for a number more years before it was auctioned off in 2019, the proceeds going to battle climate change. The record was then broken again about a year later when Kurt Cobain's 1959 Martin D18E was sold for $6 million to the owner of Rode Microphones. So Kurt Cobain bought this guitar in 1992 for $5,000, and the $5.995 million appreciation can be chalked up to a few things. The guitar itself is quite rare to begin with. Martin experimented with these electrified acoustics, but the tone was deemed subpar because the pickups are mounted directly on the spruce top. So nobody really liked them, wasn't huge demand for them, and only 302 of them were ever made. But for whatever reason, Kurt Cobain gravitated towards this guitar, playing it at Nirvana's iconic MTV Unplugged performance. It said that it was his go-to guitar lying around the house, and many believe that it's the last guitar that he ever played. Kurt's daughter inherited it and then proceeded to lose it in what seems like a rather nasty divorce. It's believed that the ex-husband is the one who sold it to its current owner, making it the most expensive guitar ever sold. Now, it should be noted that later this very week, another one of Kurt's guitars is going up for auction. The blue Mustang that he played in the Smells Like Teen Spirit video might be taking the title in a couple days. Time will tell. And you gotta wonder what Kurt Cobain would have thought about his guitars being sold for these stupid amounts of money. Before I move on, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Original Grain, who are an eco-friendly company that have been making watches from unique materials for almost a decade. I mean, check out this collaboration they did with Taylor Guitars. This watch is made using the same reclaimed ebony wood that Taylor uses. The dial is inspired by an acoustic headstock, and there's also an ebony guitar wood ring that pairs wonderfully. They have a wide range of products that are made from sustainable materials like 100% recycled ocean plastic, reclaimed military ammo wood crates, and reclaimed whiskey and beer barrels, so that everything they offer has a distinct mojo to it. If that's not cool enough, you can have them personally engraved, making the perfect Father's Day, anniversary, birthday, or just, hey, I appreciate you kind of gift. They have over 20,000 5-star reviews and offer a buyback guarantee. If you aren't satisfied, you find everything they have to offer over at originalgrain.com/samurai, where you can use promo code samurai for 30% off anything. Links, as always, are in the description. Let's get back to it. Now, while doing my research, I realized that it gets a little bit murky when you start getting away from these official guitar auctions and start trying to figure out stuff like, what is the world's most expensive amp? The most official seeming thing that I could find was a Guitar World article that cited the sale of Bill Wyman, who was the original bass player for the Rolling Stones, but apparently his 1962 Vox AC30 normal amp sold for $106,000, and apparently that is officially the most expensive amp. But here's the thing, I'm not fully convinced of this. I just feel like there has to have been a Dumble out there that sold for more. And if you're unaware, the amps that were made by Alex Dumble are often considered to be the best ever made. They're incredibly rare and were used by the likes of Eric Clapton, Santana, Eric Johnson, Joe Bonamassa, and many others. See, even on the Wikipedia page, it says that Dumbles have been sold for up to $150,000. But conveniently, the citation link is a dead end. There's another article here where Kirk Hammett once said that a Dumble he owned was listed for $750,000, One was listed by a Seattle music store for $158,000 in 2016, but I can't figure out if that was sold or not. And I mean, even John Mayer recently told Corey Wong on his podcast that he now owns the Dumble that Stevie Ray Vaughan used to record Texas Flood. And you got to imagine that cost him a pretty penny to secure. So I don't have any proof of it, but I suspect that the most expensive amp ever sold was not the Vox AC30. I mean, there's currently a Dumble listed on Reverb for $180,000. So hey, one of you guys could take the official title right now, and if you're considering it, I'm gonna put an affiliate link in the description. So not only will you own the world's most expensive amp, but I will be the record holder for world's biggest Reverb affiliate commission. All right, moving on. This set of guitar strings costs what, $15? Well, one time, a set of guitar strings sold for $7,000, which is more than any guitar that I own. It might even be more than my 12-year-old car is worth. The story goes, 19-year-old Anthea Connell was watching her boyfriend set up at some festival or something, and then Jimi Hendrix, of all people, walked up to her and started chatting her up. He then grabbed a pack of guitar strings and wrote on it this lovely message. To Anthea, love and kisses to you forever. I wish I could really talk to you. Stay sweet, Jimi Hendrix. Kind of a weird thing to write to a teenager that you just met, but hey, we see things a lot differently in 2022 than they did in the 60s. But this pack of strings was also signed by Jimi Hendrix's bandmates and sold for $7,000 at auction, which, as far as I can tell, is the most expensive set of strings ever sold. Next up, we have the most expensive guitar cable that's currently available. Right now, you can go and buy a single Pro Micro Golden Oval 10-foot instrument cable for $7,600. I just got to assume it's made of pure gold or something. I don't know why this exists, who it's intended for, but the Amazon reviews are pretty great. Let's read a few highlights. This cable isn't just a cable, it's a force. It is a conduit. It is all that is holy. Amazon customer says decent guitar cable at an economical price point. The magic is in the cable. Best $6,000 my parents ever spent. It's just sheer insanity that this thing even exists. Moving on, when we think of vintage gear, we're usually talking about the 50s, 60s, maybe the 70s, but did you know that there is a pair of guitar picks that was priced at $4,500 that can be dated back to the year 4 billion BC. A company known as Star Picks was forging picks out of meteorites that landed in Australia. Who was buying them? That's a very good question, but imagine spending 4 billion years hurtling through space only to end up being used to mash out Bon Jovi covers by some lawyer blues dad with too much money. And last for today, would you care to guess the most expensive guitar pedal? If you said it's the Centaur Klon, congratulations, you'd be wrong, even though a number of my YouTube colleagues are buying those up for stupid amounts of money. But no, the Klons, those $5,000 pedals, those are for peasants. The true kings are spending tens of thousands of dollars to buy Jimi Hendrix's old pedals. One of his fuzz faces sold for $40,000 and his original Octavia sold for $70,000. However, those aren't even close to the most expensive guitar pedal ever sold. That title goes to an Amazon basic drive pedal, which was sold on Reverb for $1.3 million and an additional $13 for shipping. I will say though, I have yet to confirm the authenticity of this sale. And upon further research, was this fucking Trey from Gear Gods who did this? Oh man, it was. Okay, Trey, congratulations on the totally legitimate sale of the world's most expensive pedal. Next time I see you, I will anticipate that you'll be paying for lunch. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Next time you're trying to convince your significant other that buying a guitar for a couple $1,000s is actually relatively cheap, you can show them this video. I don't know, what do you guys think about this stuff? I personally find it weird and kind of a waste of money and gear in most cases. I mean, John Mayer owning Stevie Ray Vaughan's amp, yeah, there's not a lot of better hands for that amp to be in. John Frusciante being seen using Jimi Hendrix's guitar, yeah, that's pretty awesome. But some insanely rich collector buying this stuff up for it to sit in a vault, yeah, that kind of personally puts me off a bit. But hey, if one day I sell my reverse flying V to some wealthy schmohawk for a massive stack of money, I might be singing a very different tune. Remember to check out the sponsor of today's video, Original Grain, who offers some very cool watches, rings, sunglasses, and accessories. They make the perfect gift for Father's Day, which is coming up quite soon, so you might want to get on top of that. You can find more information at originalgrain.com/samurai. And make sure you use promo code Samurai to get 30% off anything site-wide. As always, links are in the description. Thank you all for watching. If you want to check out another video like this one, hit that link up there. You can find that Sammy G merch over at shopsamuraiguitarist.com. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and stay tuned for a wide range of musical content. Until next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.